Hi there, I'm Chef Brian. We are at the organic Raspai market today. Why don't you come along with me and we're going to see what kind of special things we can find in the market. This is one of my favorite markets. It's been around for 30 years now, and it's the first organic market in Paris. It is heart of springtime, of course, being Easter. So I'm going to be looking for what springtime vegetables might interest me today. I'm a private chef in Paris. My name is Brian Defer. I've worked about 10 years in restaurants, and I came over to Paris to work as a private chef in 2001, and I've been here ever since. I've been freelancing at this since 2009, which means I'm bouncing all around Paris and the countryside, going to people's homes and preparing dinner parties or lunches. So I'm used to surprises in the kitchen, and I like to be surprised. That's why I like to find some inspiration that was not in the plans when I go to the market. So I haven't even checked what they have at this particular stand. If you've done some shopping in the Paris markets, you know that a lot of times they swat you away. They tell you to get your hands off of the fruits and vegetables. There's always one or two stands that are actually self-service, and those are the ones that I migrate towards, that I'm drawn towards, because then I can get my hands on all the fruits and vegetables and touch them and decide for myself what's ripe and what I'm going to select for the day. So they've been nice enough to let us wander around their particular stand here today. So why don't we see what they have. The first thing I noticed, actually, that just caught my eye, something I don't even know what is called in English. So maybe somebody could call in and help us out here with this. This is called, the direct translation from French is called Bearish Garlic. It's a wild leaf, wild herb, and it does have a pronounced garlic flavor, and you rarely see it fresh. You can buy it dried in an organic store, but you rarely see it fresh. So I'm going to for sure buy one of these and take it home today. This one has some white flower growing on it. So it's even a little more cute, more picturesque. So why don't we put that in our basket to start off with? It's a strange thing to start off the shopping with, but why not? Here's some interesting mix of fresh wild herbs that you cannot always find in a regular market. This is called ortie, and it's like a leaf from a thistle. And again, the English word, I've been living in France for too long, the English word doesn't even come to me anymore. So we have to look that one up. This one they've got marked as oseille, which is sorrel in French, in English. It looks like spinach leaves, and normally sorrel is a bigger leaf, so I'm surprised that this would be sorrel. But maybe if nobody's looking, we're just going to eat one. Nobody even noticed. It's definitely sorrel. It's very lemony. It's not a spinach leaf at all.
Bonjour.
Vous ne connaissez pas des traductions en anglais, par exemple? Il y a des choses comme le livèche que je vois pas très souvent. I've got another thing to show you, which is almost like can work for your Easter table centerpiece. It's looking so pretty because the rubber band happens to match the little flowers developing in the chives. There's some cute fresh chives. I've got chives growing on my own balcony at home, but I can't resist these ones. I'm going to grab these ones too. And I love cooking with artichoke hearts. Whether that be the large globe artichokes that we normally get from Brittany, or the small baby artichokes that are often from Provence. You can get them actually a lot of many months of the year, but they're a little bit more tender in the springtime and less fibrous. And you see the size of this. This is going to lend itself to a beautiful stuffed artichoke. It's going to take a lot of work. I have to take a knife and trim off all the leaves while I'm turning it, rotating it. I'm going to scoop out the choke with a spoon so I don't cut myself. And then I'm going to parboil that artichoke heart for about half an hour, and in a broth. And then we are going to make up a stuffing and bake it in the oven. That's going to be an amazing artichoke heart. There's a lot of different artichoke sizes, but the main thing you want to look for is the head should be really tight like this, forming a nice sphere. When the artichoke's getting old, the leaves are all going to start separating, and it's going to start to feel light because it's dehydrating. It's lost a lot of its moisture, and it's also going to be more fibrous and tough at that point. So you want something that feels really heavy in your hand and dense, and where the leaves are all nice and tight like this. Let's wander over this way. People think of beets as being just a wintertime vegetable. What do you do when you see fresh beets like this with the beautiful greens? How can you resist that? We could be also making a spring beet salad with some walnuts and some walnut oil vinaigrette. You can even eat the leaves on some of these greens when the leaves are so fresh. My basket's getting full already. We might need a second basket. Oh, thank you. So in the springtime, what do you think the star products would be? Probably asparagus. Let's show this beautiful white asparagus. When I'm buying white asparagus, I like to buy the really fattest diameter asparagus that I can find. It's going to make a difference in the mouthfeel when you're eating it. It's going to keep a much more interesting texture than if you get really skinny white asparagus. It has to be cooked for quite a while to be tender. And if you've got a skinny white asparagus cooked for a while, it's just going to end up like a stringy spaghetti. So I'm going to actually put this one back, and I'm going to see if I can find a few other giant ones like this. Again, you don't want to try this in just any market. They'll start yelling at you if you're touching the vegetables yourself. But as I said, this is a self-service stand, so we get to look for ourselves. It's only going to be 2 people for lunch. Maybe it's going to be for lunch just myself and a lucky contestant. We're planning to get people involved from off the internet, and it has to be somebody from Paris, of course. I've got a scooter. I can just scooter over to your place no matter where you live in Paris within half an hour. I'm going to show up at your place and cook you lunch. You just need to have a clean kitchen. I'll bring my own knives. You don't even have to have knives. Let's say you need to have 1 pan and a couple of pots and maybe something in your fridge. You have to not mind that I'm going to dig around in your fridge and your cupboards and see if I can scrounge up some decent French lunch for you. It's up to you if you want to open a bottle of wine, but I'll bring some baguette and maybe a piece of cheese. And I'll bring a few star ingredients from the market and put together a fantastic lunch for you, and maybe myself too if you invite me to the table. Like most Parisians, this is about all I can have for a garden in my little balcony space, so I like to grow a few herbs out here. And one of my fallback herbs that goes with almost everything is chives. So let's trim off some chives, and I think I'll put that on to garnish the white asparagus gratin that I'm baking right now. There we go. And maybe my mint's getting overgrown here. Let's clip down this mint a little bit for dessert later with some raspberries. That should be great. Hi there, I'm just opening up a little Pouilly Fumé from the Loire Valley for lunch. It's based on the Sauvignon Blanc grape, and it's very dry on mineral wine. It's quite light for lunchtime. I'll grab a couple of glasses because I'm not alone today. And we're going to serve up some of that food that I bought at the Raspail Organic Market yesterday. Okay, let's mince up our chives. It's easier when the chives are in a big bunch when you buy them from the shop. I like to keep vegetables, the pure vegetable flavor shining through most of the time, but today my parents-in-law are visiting from Poland. They always bring in excess of Polish sausage. So I've minced up some of that Polish sausage, and I'm going to use that in the gratin, as well as a bit of cream and just the reduced cooking liquids from having cooked the white asparagus. I didn't throw away any of the cooking liquid from poaching the white asparagus. In she goes. This is the bear garlic that we just bought in the Raspail Organic Market as well. You can either cook it like a cooked spinach, or you can have it raw in a salad. I'm going to save the flowers for a garnish because they're so pretty. I'm going to start mincing up the leaves. I also like to do personal cooking classes around Paris where we learn how to use a chef's knife. Today we're doing a little tasting menu of the things that we bought at the Raspail Organic Market. And the first thing we want to taste is the white asparagus. It's just coming out of the oven right now. A little gratin, maybe the last gratin of the spring season before it gets too warm for gratin. We've got a little creamy sauce. The asparagus was pre-cooked in poaching liquid with some fresh thyme and bay leaf. And I've just added a bit of Polish sausage since my in-laws are visiting from Poland, and some of the fresh chives from the balcony. We've got also some of the bear garlic from the market as our little green. Now we're going to serve it up just as it is, but with a bit of the bear garlic greens, which I've sprinkled on top. That's going to be a little taster to get us started on our lunch today. The little flowers from the bear garlic. What a cute little decoration. A little bit more of our chives from the balcony. With the artichokes from the other day, yesterday only, at the Raspail Market. Remember, we had a huge globe artichoke. I trimmed off all the leaves, and I cooked this in a vegetable broth also with some lemon juice and some pepper and garlic, etc. Bay leaf, and that's been, we don't need that. That's been poached until it's tender. And there's a million different stuffings you can make up for this artichoke heart to make it interesting and to serve. You could do something vegetarian, or it can have a bit of meat or poultry or seafood in it, cheese, etc. Lends itself to Mediterranean style cooking from Italy, or Brittany style cooking with vegetables from Brittany. Today what I've got is a mixed vegetable salad, which also has some egg in it, some carrots, celery, and apple, and I had the fresh sorrel from the market. I'm mixing in the fresh sorrel from the market to give that zingy, lemony, astringent flavor. We're going to serve this cold today, but you could make up a hot stuffing for the artichoke hearts as well. If it falls out into the side, that's going to look pretty too. You don't have to use a pastry circle to get an exact perfect shape. Just to look generous. What do you think? That's enough for a portion. So that could be, with a nice big green salad on the side, that could already be a lunch served all by itself. If you have any sorrel left over or chives, you could sprinkle that on as well. A little more greenery. Maybe a touch of olive oil. We're ready to eat this. I think this is still going to be good with the pouilly fumé, in fact. For our other dish, I was suggesting we do maybe a warm beet salad. And we bought those baby little tender beets from the market that come out in the springtime. What I did was just simmer them with a bit of water and at a low temperature, and I've sprinkled them already with some walnut oil, and I'll put them in a bowl just to be served as a salad with a bit of watercress, some fresh green watercress. It's almost the end of the season now as we're approaching the warm weather. And you can use a sheep's cheese like this one from Corsica, crumbled inside the salad, or a mild goat's cheese, or even a blue cheese. Some people like a Roquefort with beets as well. There's many possibilities. For serving, because there's already some nice flavor in here with the just with the cooking liquid and the walnut oil, just sprinkle some sea salt in there and some black pepper. Empty the whole thing into a salad bowl, and you can toss it directly with your salad greens, and then you're ready to plate. Crumble the cheese on top and maybe some walnuts on top, and it's ready to go. I'm Brian Defer, and this is my cookbook, Les Marchés Français. It's got a French title, but it's in English.